So, we just had a massive Nintendo Direct today, the day I'm recording this, which is, of course, on the 21st of June, and just a great Direct. So, I'm going to be doing several analysis videos, going through the trailers of some of the games and DLCs that I'm most interested in, and I will be going frame by frame and looking at anything and everything that I find interesting, talking about my thoughts. So for this first one, I'm going to be talking about the Hidden Treasure of Area Zero DLC for Pokemon Scarlet and Pokemon Violet. This DLC, it looks really good. There's new locations and storylines and new Pokemon and characters as well. So the graphics, they don't look that great at times, but the art style is just very nice looking. I really like the building and character designs, and the music that we heard in the trailer is pretty good too. The new Pokemon have some interesting new designs, and Blueberry Academy looks interesting, which is a whole separate location and a big ocean of water. It's new people and Pokemon, along with a big terrarium that has different themed biomes that you can go through and Pokemon to catch and battle. And the music's also pretty good here as well. Still no release date so far, unfortunately, but we do know fall and winter 2023, so an approximate date. So I'm going to go frame by frame through this trailer, pointing out everything and anything I find interesting. Obviously, I won't show each and every frame, since that would take forever, but any frames with something interesting, I will talk about it. And there's quite a lot, even though it's just a 3-minute trailer, so let's get into it. Okay, so starting off here, there's a bunch of different pictures pinned on a bulletin board. These show a bunch of different things from the game, so I'll just be going quickly through the things on each one of these pictures. So first here, you can see several pictures of various Pokemon and gym leaders. On the top left, there's Bombardier, the Open Sky Titan, which is a dual flying and dark type Pokemon. On the top left in the middle is Giacomo, who is the leader of the Dark Crew. On the bottom left is Katie, who is a bug type gym leader. On the top right is Brassius, an Arzaton grass type gym leader. And on the bottom on the right is Cloth, who is a Pokemon, of course. Then here in the top right, we see Mela, who is the leader of the Shedar Squad and is fire type. In this picture here, we see Mr. Jack, who is the homeroom and biology teacher in this game. In this frame, there's several things. Here on the upper left is the sandwich from the game, which you can, of course, buy at shops. In the middle is Kofu, who is the water type gym leader of Casa Carafa Gym. And then here at the top in the middle is Chest Form Gimmighoul. In the middle on the left is Larry, the gym leader of the Medalli Gym, which is normal type. And then on the middle on the right is the electric gym leader, Iono. Next here in the bottom left is Clavel, who is the director of Naranja and Yuva Academy. On the bottom in the middle is the Great Tusk Titan. And on the bottom right is Hassel, who is a Dragon type Elite 4 leader. Here in this notebook paper here, you can see a drawing of the flags that are found at the Team Star Poison Crew base in Tag 3 Thicket in the game. In this next frame in the top right, we see Rhyme, who's the gym leader of the Montenevra Gym and is Ghost type. On the top left, there's the Fire Terra type Curlia. On the bottom right is Airy, who's the boss of Team Star's fighting crew. And on the bottom left is Dondozo, who is a water type big catfish Pokemon and one of the 5 Titans for the Path of Legends. Next on the top left is a False Dragon Titan Pokemon, and on the bottom left is Ortega, the leader of the Team Star Fairy Crew. Here in the middle towards the right is the terrestrialized Altaria, and on the very right is Rika, the Elite 4 member of the Paldea region and ground type, and on the bottom you can see a drawing of the school in the Paldea region. Then here, of course, there's Keratin, the fighting dragon type Pokemon, and on the bottom left there is Gita, the Pokemon League chairwoman. On the bottom right is Miraidon, and on the top right is Clavel, who's the director of the school. On the top right here, you can see one of the ominous black stakes that are in the ground in various places in the game. And then here on the top right, you can see another drawing of that school with the big Pokeball. And in the upper middle, you can see Nimona, the rival and president of the Academy Student Council. On the bottom left, from left to right, these characters are Airy, Ortega, Atticus, and Mela. And on the bottom right, there's the dog-type or dog-like Pokemon Mabostiff. So anyway, getting into the actual area where this takes place. So this mountain here, this probably represents the major new mascot Pokemon for this Teal Mask expansion, Ogerpon. So this creature wears a mask over his face and appears to be based on the Oni, which are demons or ogre from Japanese folklore. And you can tell it bears some resemblance to this because the horns on each side match, and also in the official promotional art, this Pokemon towers over the Festival of Masks, just like the mountain towers over the town of Mosui Town. And then next, there's some carnival-like stalls here. They seem to have some prizes on them, such as Pokemon masks and some stuffed animals of Squovette in the background, or that could just be real Squovettes on top of there. I'm not really sure because they weren't moving much. And according to the Pokemon website, these stalls, they sell anything from candy apples to yakisoba, and anyone can enjoy themselves at this event. It's a very nice looking Magikarp statue, spewing water out of his mouth into a pond made out of rocks. Here's some Sentret Pokemon jumping around in this field. There's some apple trees with the apples dropped on the ground, and in the background to the left you can see a building, and to the right of that building is a bunch of mini ponds that are filled with water. So, this same building here, this is the building we just saw in the background of that last shot. There's some Hoot Hoots standing on the stone fence here. There's people walking around, there's someone with a Yanma Pokemon, and looking at this building, there's a solar panel at the very top, gathering energy from the sun. That is atop a small room that has a door that leads up to the roof of the main building. And outside of this building, in front, there's like a mini Pokemon Center, except it doesn't have the blue counter that some have. And to the very far right, there's a sign with a shopping bag that indicates a store is there. And this big building is actually the community center of Mosui Town in Kitakami, and the local people can get together and chat here and just walk around. Next, we see some flying Gligar Pokemon in some mountains. And then there's several Corphish in or near the water, and there's a Magikarp that jumps and splashes into the water. This looks to be like a bus stop or something like that, and maybe you can wait here to get picked up or something. Either way, this sign has some sort of significance that is unknown currently. And then here's a close-up of the community center building we saw before with the solar panel on the roof. And then this is the store that we saw the sign of that was to the right of the community center with the shopping bag icon. And there's a Vulpix there. And this store has what looks like some sort of freezer cooler and has toys and magazines on display. In this shot, the player is riding a Koraidon, and there's some Oricorio Pokemon that are flying in the air. Next, there's an Aipom Pokemon that's being caught by a trainer, and you can also see in the background there's a cave that has an entrance that we'll probably be able to enter, and there will be something inside there. This ground texture looks really rough and blurry here when it zooms up too close to the ground. I guess that's just what we can expect from this game. The graphics aren't all that great, but after all, it's just a close-up zoom to the ground, and normally it looks fine for the most part. It's still a little off-putting. This character to the right here is Carmine, a new character in this DLC, and there's also another Vulpix in the back that might belong to Kieran. And speaking of Kieran, this is also a new character, and Carmine is his older sister. So, according to the website Bulbapedia, he has a quiet, gentle nature and often hides behind his big sister. He seems to be curious about the player, though, when they arrive from the Paldea region. He is a student attending Blueberry Academy. You can also see a red sticker on the building in the back with the face of Snorlax. This here is a Poochyena. This very likely seems to belong to Carmine and is sent out by her to attack the player, and a Pokemon battle starts. And then here the player sends out the Mousehold Pokemon to battle against Carmine, and the sign in the back also has a Fletchling Pokemon on it. So here Carmine says, "Welcome to Kitakami. This is an area that is prominently featured in the Teal Mask expansion. Here's an overview of this area from Bulbapedia again. So, a great mountain towers over the land of Kitakami, and the people live at its base. It is a place of tranquil, natural expanses featuring rice paddies and apple orchards. The Pokemon Okidogi, Munkidori, and Fezandipiti are revered as heroes, the loyal three by the people of the village for having protected the land of Kitakami in the past. So the player is taken to Kitakami on a school trip to join an outdoor study opportunity, and this trip coincides with a seasonal festival that is regularly held in the village in Kitakami, which the village is bustling with various street vendors and stalls. And during the trip, the player meets Kieran and his older sister Carmen, who both live in Kitakami. So next, this looks like some sort of swampy area with some tall grass, there's Whoopers, and Yanma Pokemon. And then here, Kieran mentions the festival of masks at Kitakami Hall, and Kitakami Hall is to the east of the village, and this is where the festival takes place, which is a tradition passed down through multiple generations. So this character here, they look just like the person on the right of the official promotional art for this DLC, with the same green outfit and hair. And there's also some white symbols you can see on the outfit. These seem to represent the new Major 3 Pokemon in the Teal Mask expansion. And then next here, there's the other character on the left of that promotional art, with the same haircut and outfit as the art, of course. And behind him is a large stairwell leading up to a hill to the main festival area, with some lights along the side. And there's also a statue here that is of the Pokemon Hisuian Growlithe. You can see a bunch of lanterns here. Each lantern has a different Pokemon type on it. This booth here, this is someone wearing a mask of Ogerpon, and it looks like this stall is giving away shaved ice. There's the different syrups, giving each one their color and flavor, and there's a machine to make the ice with. Over here on the left, there's someone holding a candied apple from one of the stalls, and to the right of them, it looks like there's a propane tank that's giving power to that red booth, likely to make some sort of food. And then in this next shot, we can actually see that red stall closer up. There's a guy working there that has a shirt of some Pokemon. It's like a dog symbol or something. And there's a spatula in the logo, and there's sauce to the right of the work group. So this must be the Yakisoba stall, as was mentioned on the Pokemon website. And Snorlax is also here. Also to the stall to the right are more candy apples that has apples in the logo, and the yellow and red candy apples are visible that have sticks in the bottom of them. Here we can see a closer shot of the Pokemon masks. So all the 4 major new Pokemon are represented here. The green mask with the ears is Okidogi, the blue mask is Munkidori, the pink mask is Fazantipiti, and the creepy looking green mask with horns is Ogerpon, the mascot for the Teal Mask DLC that wears a mask over its face. So, Carmen mentions the Loyal 3, and of course these are the 3 new Pokemon that used to protect the land from Ogerpon, and this is what the Festival of Masks is focused on celebrating. Here we can see the statues that represent the Loyal 3. From left to right is Munkidori, Okidogi, and Fazantipiti. And here we see the actual real Pokemon. This is a sign here. This probably describes some important story or legend. Obviously this is not readable in English, but on the outline on the left is Ogerpon, on the right is Munkidori, then Okidogi, and on the top is Fazantipiti, and the human character there probably represents either the player or the main characters that we see in the Teal Mask that we will interact with. Here we finally get a close-up shot of Ogerpon and his mask. This mask is what gives the DLC the name of the Teal Mask, because the mask is partially teal, and obviously this Pokemon is the main focus of the DLC. And then here Ogerpon is trying to look really menacing, standing here like in the promotional art where it towers over the festival. Honestly though, it just looks really short and not that menacing or scary, but yeah. And next, the trailer goes over to Blueberry Academy for the Indigo Disc expansion. So this school is in the middle of the ocean, separate from everything else. And the school is also roughly shaped like a disc, and similar to the shape of the new mascot for this expansion, Terrapagos. The dome in the middle of the school is also similar to the thing on the top of Terrapagos. And here we meet Cyrano, the founder and director of Blueberry Academy. This here looks like the main battle area of the school, where people battle and there's different stats on the board in the back, and bleachers for people to watch. There's also a person over to the left who has an execute. These gates here look pretty similar to gates at airports, and they seem to be the entrance into the main school, or possibly into the terrarium, either one, not totally sure yet. Now here we meet Lacey. She's a second-year student at the school. She's reliable and skilled in Pokemon battling, and she will show the player around the academy. There's a classroom here with a student writing something on paper with a Mencino standing on the desk, and on the screen to the right in the back is a map of the area. There's an icon of a Geodude and some statistics, and a sun representing temperature or a day and night cycle. Then here we see the school shop. There's Pokeballs that can be bought, jugs of water and containers, and also notebooks, pens, and highlighters in the back. Finally, we take the tunnel into the terrarium. This is an undersea facility that sustains artificial biomes. And this terrarium is entirely under all the water in the sea, and has a dome that keeps all the water out and a fake sky. So, here's what the Pokemon website describes the terrarium to be. So, it's made up of 4 areas, each of which features a unique climate and ecosystem. The artificial sky projected onto the ceiling and walls, this changes to reflect the time of day and weather. The temperature of each area is also carefully regulated, and you will find completely different Pokemon in each area. So yeah, in the middle are blocks which separate each area, but are able to be gone over to reach the other areas. On the top is an ice area, some freezing water. To the left is an area with rocky mountains and some grass. On the bottom is a desert area with dry grass and some dried trees. And then finally to the right is an area with lots of water and some more greener grass. And then next we see some new Pokemon returning in this DLC in this terrarium. So first, Zebstrika in the desert area, Golurks in the Rocky Mountain area, Executor in the desert area, and Seals in the ice area. There's a screen here with some information and looks like Pokemon type symbols on it, along with more of those blocks surrounding it, which we saw separating the different biomes. And these blocks, they make a bridge across the areas that you can cross, but you can also just jump over using Koraidon or Miraidon. Some more Pokemon. In the desert area here, there's two people that send out their Pokemon to battle, and they're both Pyroar, just different forms. And then over here on the other side of the battle, there's Glimmora on the left and Whimsicott on the right. And then next, we see several more Pokemon that are doing attacks. So first of all, a Metagross, a Reuniclus, a Melodic, a terrestrialized Pokemon, I'm not really sure what the name is, and another one, I don't remember his name. If you know it, let me know. And then we see two more new characters that I don't know the name of. There's this one here, and this one, holding a frying pan. This here definitely looks like the cafeteria of the school. There's tables where people are sitting, and there's some sort of coffee machine on the left, and there's trays where food could be placed over. So yeah, that is it for this trailer. There are definitely lots of cool and interesting things to see. It seems like there's a whole lot of new story, the new areas, they look fun to explore, and there's a bunch of new people to talk to. There's a lot of Pokemon from past games returning as well, which is very nice. Unfortunately, we don't have a release date quite yet, but they're still planned for fall and winter 2023. So, I say this means the Fall Mask could release sometime from probably September to November, Indigo Disc could release in September and December, possibly early next year. That's not really 2023, but it's still in winter. So yeah, I'm just really excited to see what's new in this DLC. I'll probably get back into playing Pokemon Violet again soon in preparation for these expansion packs. And let me know if I missed anything. Tell me what you're most looking forward to in this DLC. Yeah, make sure to like and subscribe if you enjoyed this video, and I'll see you in the next video. Or never, if you decide to never visit my channel again, which is also fine. Bye.